Okay, and now it's time to learn from our mistakes, go through the practice test, take some notes. Hopefully you have a color pen out and are ready to write some things down. The first thing we need to do, please stop with your pen tapping over there, is we need to find relationships between some angles. Someone said, thank goodness for my toolkit, and they're right, because a lot of these answers should have been in your toolkit if you took good notes. Okay, what do we know about 1 and 4? We know that 1 and 4 are alternate exterior angles. I don't mind if you abbreviate. What about 2 and 6? They are vertical, okay, or opposite angles. What about 3 and 6? 3 and 6 are both, they're above the parallel line, so they're corresponding. They're in the same position, but above different lines. So we say those are corresponding. Corresponding angles are congruent. Alternate exterior angles are congruent. Vertical angles are congruent. So far, all the angles we've talked about, relationships, are congruent. What about 2 and 8? Well, they make a straight line, so they're supplementary. So they're not congruent. They're supplementary. What about 4 and 5? Well, they are also corresponding. They're both below the parallel line to the left of the transversal. And what about 5 and 8? Those are alternate interior. Okay, so those should have been 6 pretty simple points. Okay, you'll have a very similar problem on the test tomorrow. Now, how many degree measures are there every time we see a diagram like this? How many degree measures? How many different degree measures?
8. Or not, 4. 2. 8.
2.
I said 2.
Every angle is either 125, okay, or supplementary, 55. Okay, so what angles are congruent to angle 3? Or, okay, 7 is because it's vertical. 6 is because it's corresponding. 2 is because it's alternate exterior. Good, Tanner. Okay, using the angle 3 as 125, what is the other degree measure in this diagram? Matthew?
55.
55. How'd you get that?
I just subtracted it from 180.
Okay, because you know everything in here is, if it's not congruent, it's supplementary. 125, thank you. So 55 degrees. Okay, what other angles are 55 then? Well, everything besides 3, 7, 6, and 2, right? So 1, 4, 5, 8. Then you would have got half. Yep. So don't. Okay. This goes to those notes we took that one day. Triangles are formed within polygons by diagonals drawn from one vertex to each of the rest. How many triangles can be formed within a decagon? 8, right? It's always 2 less than the number of sides. What is the sum of the measure of the interior angles of a 17agon? Well, that's when you go 17 minus 2 times 180. And that gives you what?
Gives you
2700. Good. Okay? When we want to find the sum of the measures in a hexagon, we would do 6 minus 2 times 180. So that's going to be 720. If I want to find the measure of one angle, I need to divide that by the number of sides, or 6. So 720 divided by 6 is 120 degrees. Okay. Number 6. Find the measure of one interior angle in a regular 16agon. That's when I would do 16 minus 2 times 180 divided by 16. And what do you get? Okay? All right, so that page is worth 14, almost half the test. So make sure you know how to do page 1. That's very important. Okay, page 2, number 7. Well, first of all, what is the sum of these 4 angles? 360 degrees. Okay? What is the measure of if a corner is part of an equilateral triangle, it's how many degrees? 60. How many of those are there? 2. What is this other angle here? Part of the what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hexagon. So that'd be 120 and 120. Should I check to make sure those add up to be 360?
Yes.
Yes. And they do. So that's right. Okay, this next one is kind of it's kind of a mind bender. Now, first of all, sorry about that, but I wanted you to use the diagram. I told you that, but or no one asked me, so I assume you used the diagram. But here's the strategy I would use on one like this. Draw the triangles out separately. Okay? If I draw ABC out separately, this is 90, this is 55, and this is 25 plus x, right? Because it's this little part plus this part. So what do I know about those three angles? They add up to be what? What's the total degrees in a triangle? 180. So I know that 90 plus 55 plus 25 plus x has to be 180. And when I simplify this, I get 170 plus x is 180. So I know that this little angle right here has to be 10 degrees. What are you confused about?
Because all that equals 170, and then that has to be 10.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Because once you add that all up, X, yeah.
Now, if I draw out the same, if I do the same thing with DAC, this is 25 degrees, this is 55 plus y, and this is 90. That's what that little square means. So, guess what I get? I get also 10 degrees.
So 10 and 10.
Yep. Yep, so each one's 10 degrees.
Okay, one second. Let me write this down.
There'll be a problem just like that, but it'll be different numbers on the actual test. That's why you draw it out separately.
I didn't know to do it all, like, I didn't even think to, maybe you think that they would add up to 180.
What's the triangle?
Yeah, no, but,
I get it now. I see what you do. You gotta add them all up, and then you'll know X is because you're missing a certain number.
Okay. All right. That's fine.
Wait, is that one? Yeah, at the very bottom of the equation, is that 180?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Let's continue on. All right. Now, one other major thing that we learned during this unit was the exterior angle theorem. And that said, if you draw an angle on the outside of a triangle, like you extend the side, then it equals the sum of the two farthest away angles. Right? We spent a day on that. Okay? So that means that in this case, this measure out here would be 110. Now we could prove that because this is 110, so this has to be 70, right? Because there's 180 degrees in a triangle. And these are supplementary, so you could get 110 that way also. Or you could just know the exterior angle theorem. Pretty cool, huh? Pretty cool. Okay, I think so. Okay, how about number 10? Find the measure of angle D. What do I know about D? I know it's what? I know it's supplementary to 42, right? So that would be 180 minus 42, which is 138.
Okay, one second. All right.
You thought wrong.
Oh,
Okay, on number 11, is this another example of the exterior angle theorem? The two angles farthest away from the one drawn on the outside are equal when I add those together. So 3x plus 2x equals 100. Simplify before you solve. 5x equals 100. What's x? 20.
Oh my god.
5x equals 100. What's x?
is that 2x? Oh my god.
20.
That's already written into the box.
So there are times that you have to solve for x, but it's using what we're learning. It's not like random, you know,
Wait, what?
random equations. You just said, that doesn't make sense.
It's like how you got 20.
Divide both sides by 5.
Yeah, so, oh, you got 5. Oh, okay. I get it. Okay.
Okay? How about the measure of angle U? I know this one plus this one equals that one. So 65 plus question mark equals 105. Well, when I subtract 65 from both sides, I get the question mark is 40. Normally, I wouldn't use a question mark. I would use a variable, but it's the same concept, right?
Yeah.
40.
Yes. Okay, now you.
Okay? Anybody need more time to write that down?
Yes.
No.
Tomorrow, this could be a great time for you guys to really boost your grade going into the end of the quarter unit test. Okay. Use a diagram to find the following. Identify a pair of alternate exterior angles. I'm going to use the process of elimination. Are 3 and 4 alternate interior or exterior? No, they're consecutive interior. What about 1 and 2? No, they're supplementary. What about 1 and 6?
Nope.
They're nothing. They're exterior angles, but they're not alternate exterior. And what about 2 and 6?
They are alternate.
They are an alternate exterior, so that's D.
What's the point of knowing that?
Wait, what is?
Go ahead, Mateo.
I'm confused about that. I don't get it.
What?
I don't know. I just don't get it.
Do you not get what alternate exterior angles are, or how to solve the problem?
Oh.
I went through, it said identify a pair of alternate exterior angles. So I looked at all the pairs they gave me to see if they...
Oh, okay, yeah, I see. I was being stupid. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, what are 3 pairs of corresponding angles? Are 1 and 2 corresponding?
No.
No. Process of elimination. Are 1 and 7 corresponding?
Yes.
How about 8 and 6?
Yes.
Yes. What about 2 and 4?
Yes.
B. Okay. All right. How are angles 6 and 2 related? This is just 2 parallel lines cut by a transversal. Okay, it's a road, and that's where they use geometry. One place where they use geometry is road architects. Okay. They look, you see them surveyors out there with it looks like a telescope. They'll go out there and they're surveying. They're looking at angles and things like that. Anyways, those are corresponding angles. They're in the same position, just this one's below the top line, this one's below this road. Okay, if 8 measures 119, stop that, whoever's making that noise, please. What is the sum of 1 and 4?
I think
Well, what is angle 4?
it is
119, because it's corresponding. What is angle 1?
190.
119, because it's vertical to that. What is the sum of those 2 angles? 238. A lot of you probably put the answer C.
What's above the number 2? Like the number's already there, not 119.
Plus.
No, above that. It's like you didn't write it, but it was already there. I can't see it. I'm gonna write it down. 1.
It's okay. So that one just wanted you to see what the sum was, so you had to make sure you read that and understood it.
This one's a little weird.
Which labeled angle has the greatest measure? Well, what do I know about angle 3? I know angle 1 plus angle 2 equals angle 3, right? Isn't that just the exterior angle theorem? The two angles farthest away equal that exterior angle. So if 1 plus 2 equals 3, which is the greatest?
3.
3. If 1 plus 2 equals 3, which is the greatest? 3.
Oh, why does that matter? Why is 1 plus 2 like?
Because how do you know which one's the greatest degree?
Oh, got out.
By the exterior angle theorem.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of obvious, but yeah.
Will you scroll a little bit so I can see? Stop.
Yeah.
I got one.
Okay, on to the last page. Find the missing value. First of all, what's y? These two are supplementary. So y is 56 degrees. There's only one answer with y is 56. That was easy.
How? How is that like?
They're supplementary. They make a straight line. 124 and y.
Right.
Wait, how do you get 124? Oh, that will make sense.
Yeah.
What about 114? Wait, the answer's C. Where'd you get 114?
Well, okay. So once I figure out that this is 56 degrees, what is the sum of the angles in a quadrilateral?
Oh, 180. No, never mind.
360. So I could do that. But I didn't, really, if you think about it, if you know y is 56, and that's the only one with the right combination, you know that x has to be 114. Because y is 56.
Oh, and
But that's how you find that.
Plus 114.
Okay, number 19. Find the value of x. What do I know about the sum of the angles in a pentagon? I know that they are 540 degrees, right? By applying that formula. So, what do I know about these 5 angles added together? They're going to equal 540. So 2x plus 10 plus 2x plus 112 plus 148 plus 90 equals 540. Okay? Simplify before you solve. 2x plus 2x is 4x. 112 plus 148 is 260 plus 90 is 350 plus 10 is 360.
Wait, hold on. Okay.
I'm just simplifying.
So, then how do you?
Subtract 360. This goes, remember, and I keep telling you guys, solving equations is something you need to be able to do frontwards, backwards, inside and out. It will continue to haunt you if you don't figure it out. You will be doing this the rest of your math career by applying properties of equality. So the sooner you can figure it out, the better. We do this all the time. We're doing it in algebra right now. You guys take algebra next year. Okay? Solving equations is key. Subtract 360 from both sides. Divide both sides by 4. And x equals 45. What does it ask you to do? Find the measure of, no, it says ask you to find x.
Wait, 1 second. You're writing it down.
Number 20. What do I know about the sum of the angles in a pentagon?
That's the
They equal 540, right?
Right.
So 96 plus 104, I put those next to each other because I know that's 200, plus 118 plus 115. I'm going to call this x. I'm going to tell you why I'm finding x in a minute. The reason I'm finding x is once I find x, I can find a because it's supplementary to x. Right? So I need to find x. So to do that, I'm going to simplify before I solve. This is 200, 318, 418, 433. Okay? We're going to subtract 433 from both sides. So x is 107. I'd be writing this down, Zach and Landon.
I did get it wrong.
Look, you wanna see?
Okay? Now, is the answer 107?
No.
No.
I did get it right.
A is supplementary to 107, which is,
Oh, so like. when you-
I did it different. I got it right.
Wait, so after you did 107, what did you after that?
well, I knew that this was 107,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I know that these are supplementary because they make a straight line.
Mr. Hillball?
180 minus 107.
Yeah. I added them, and then I figured it all equaled 360, so I subtracted 360 from 433, and I got 23. But I got it right. Like,
That's like nature.
Okay, anybody still writing?
I want to check in. What?
Now for the bonus. Well, I need to find angle Q. Well, I can't tell what angle Q is yet, but I know that if this is 38, then this is 38 because they're corresponding. And I know if this is 38 and this is 76, what are the three of these angles? They're supplementary.
right.
So I know 76 plus 38 plus x is 180. So I know that 14 plus x is 180. So I know that x is 66. Well, once I find out that x is 66, what do I know about q? It's vertical. Very good. Whoever said that. So it is also 66.
Yeah.
Okay, because q and that angle right there are vertical. So the answer is 66 to the bonus.
Second, almost there.
Alright, so looks like you guys took some really good notes, and I have confidence that tonight you're going to study and practice.
Moral steps will be very good.
I hope so.
Yeah, we will.
Okay.
Yes, I will.
Yeah.
Try.
Remember, a good strategy tonight would be to add some things to your toolkit if there was anything that you needed to put in, some examples or some little notes to remind yourself of important things. Casey,